Good morning. It is Wednesday. It's hump day. Whoop, whoop. What day is it? The camel said Wednesday, April 17th. Where are we on the markets? I posted this for a week now? A week and a half? I've been posting this in the newsletter. Newsletter is free. dailystockpick.substack.com. You get it free during the week, so sign up. But I posted this for the week. And I said this 429.76 was a, support level that I kind of saw. Hey, and we've held it. I mean, I said this is the trading range that we've got to be in order to support the continued bull rally. If we get out of below 429.76, the bull rally may falter. Now, what's interesting is Monday afternoon, the low 430.21, just above it. Yesterday morning, low 429.78. Okay, these are 4-hour candles. 429.78. I have 429.76 as the support level. Pretty damn close. Powell then testifies in the afternoon, and we can go over this. The low, 429.70. That is below the 429.76. Doesn't mean, and you can see, we've gone above this range during this time, but, we haven't gone below it during this time. Little bit of a danger, kind of red flag, but what Powell said was even crazier. So this is an article from Seeking Alpha, and if you haven't read this, Powell's basically said Powell has never articulated a medium-term policy framework beyond data dependence. There is a risk that Powell might be concerned with political presentation and good economics. Everything will change if payroll growth softens markedly. This all goes over it. Powell basically said, hey, the data showed us little progress on inflation. He crashed the market. If we go to a 5-minute chart and we go QQQ 5 minutes, this one right here at 1 o'clock, this is when he started speaking at 13:10 right there. That's when he said this. And we never really came back, but he never crashed the market. Again, you can see a couple of these little candles. They touch that 429.70 point, which is a support level. It's not great, but here you see a little bit of divergence. I would be careful in this market. Declaring victory and saying, hey, let's get all in on TQQQ, that's probably not what we should do right now. So I would cause a little caution. But I will say, during these times, this is when you want to be greedy. Warren Buffett said it the best, and we went over it yesterday. During times when other people are fearful, you should be greedy. So you should absolutely be buying stocks that are on your watch list right now. And those are the ones that you want to invest in long term. Read this article, understand what things are doing and how they're moving. Look at the charts, create your watch list. If you don't have a watch list, then join Trendspider, because I got the watch list for you. It's a daily stock pick watch list right there, and you can find it right there. If you do have a Seeking Alpha Premium, or if you don't, you should go over to my Linktree, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. And you should sign up for Seeking Alpha Premium, because what does Seeking Alpha Premium allow you to do? It allows you to create watch lists. You can create portfolios, and you can create a watch list, and you can put little alerts in your watch list. You can say, hey, when this stock hits this price, I want to buy it. Seeking Alpha Premium is the best tool that you can have as a beginner to medium professional trader / investor. I think the $189 that it costs you to sign up for 1 year, you will find the benefit from it from time savings, because you're not looking through a bunch of articles with ads. You're looking through actual analysis, and I'll go over this in this podcast. And you get to personalize it. It's personalized. And that's what I really like about it. Now, there was an article yesterday. I was watching Josh Brown yesterday on CNBC, and his final trade was AppLovin. And I find that interesting because I've been a fan of AppLovin. I haven't really wanted to buy it. I think it's a little bit expensive, but I did a little research into it. And yesterday, it was ironic. Morgan Stanley boosted its price for AppLovin from $55 to $70, okay? APP is the symbol. This is in the watch list. It's in the Daily Stock Pick core watch list. It is not in the core portfolio, but it's in the watch list. Now we've had this nice pullback to the 50-day. It used that 50-day as support. You can see we've been, the algorithm has been in this since February. I said this was the trading range. And when it broke out above that trading range, it took earnings and it bumped higher. So AppLovin, in my mind, I think it's a current buy. What is it in the quant? We go back to Seeking Alpha and we look at this. It is a strong buy. I did a little research. Alpa Picks, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. It outperforms the S&P. Outperforms the S&P. And this is since July 1st, 2022. And it's 130% versus 37%. The link in my link tree saves you $50 off of Alpha Picks. AppLovin is an Alpha Pick. If we go over here to Alpha Picks, you get access to the entire portfolio. And we go to the portfolio. And then I sort it by company because then I can see AppLovin right here. It is a pick since 11/15/2023. So if we go back to 11/20/23, let's just take a look at this. This one stock since 11/20/23. There is October. We'll just go here. Look, you went down. You went down 40%. Boy, that pick looked horrible. But you are up 410%. This single stock would have paid for your entire Alpha Pick subscription. Single stock. And again, they do research. And AppLovin, I think that's my next buy. I like it. I like it a lot. The other one that they were talking about was materials. And I found it interesting, FCX, Freeport McNamara, which isn't necessarily a buy. But this article writes here, it puts a bunch of these materials like steel and aluminum and other relevant stocks. Tech, we talked about, Freeport McNamara, Rio Tinto. We can talk about all of these, but the Biden administration calls for tripling China tariffs on steel, aluminum imports. They're basically bolstering up the United States companies by saying, hey, China, if you're going to send your steel, if you're going to send your aluminum over here, our companies don't have to deal with those tariffs. So again, FCX and other companies may be better thing. And FCX, particularly in China, if they're going, then you can look at that one. Because it's big copper stuff. If you're into Bitcoin, I want you to sign up for the newsletter and watch this ad. It is the best Bitcoin ad ever. I would agree with it. Absolute best Bitcoin ad ever. I'm not going to play it on here because I might get a copyright strike. I don't know what's allowed. Go to the newsletter, play this ad. You will invest in Bitcoin when you read this one. It is great. Let's talk about my favorite stock, SMCI. Trendspider posted this yesterday. How to identify relative strength on a pullback during a bull market. It holds key moving point average. Boom. The 50-day EMA. Strong name within a particular sector. Boom. SMCI. It holds volume point of control. Boom. Look at that point of control right there with that volume shelf. That's all the way from its January lows right there because you've popped up this year. That's how you identify a relative strength in a bull market and a pullback. So SMCI, and this is just ironic, but SMCI today, it gets a scan and it gets a MACD cross up and an entry at 976.30. You are trading at 994 right now. I don't care. It just got a $1,500 price target. If you go to FinViz right here and you go to SMCI, we can look at it March 25th. I guess they haven't put it in yet, but it got a $1,500 price target. Let's see if Seeking Alpha has it. Let's go to SMCI right now. I didn't do my research on this one because I just heard that again. Yeah. Loop Capital, Wall Street, target. Let's see. $1,500. I'm going to put this in the newsletter because people will like to read this one. You'll like to read this one. Yeah. SMCI. Again, here's the triple witching hour. It is a buy in the algorithm. Trendspider has identified it as having support now. It also has earnings coming up. Now, here's the thing. April 30th, I wrote this later in my notes, so I might go over again. April 30th are their scheduled earnings. They might announce early. Remember what happened last time? Their last earnings, they announced early. They announced here on January 19th because the earnings were that good. They may announce early. It's a rumor on the street. I haven't heard it from anybody that's, justifiable. We're talking degenerates on Reddit, degenerates on Twitter. That's who's saying this. So don't come at me and say you said this. But look at that MACD. It's coiled up. It's down. It got oversold here at 36. When was the last time it was at 36? Kind of March 19th, when it was trading right around that 800 price. I bought this at 1,050. I bought a couple of lots that are big. I'm still holding those. Did I buy at 900? Yes. Did I buy at 800? Yes. I believe in this stock. It wasn't as big as my initial investment. So my average dollar cost price is somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000. But I've added to it. I believe in this stock. If you have a stock that you believe in and the story unfolds, then you're okay. The SMCI right now, it's a strong buy in the quant. Why is it a strong buy in the quant? Well, it's got A+ growth. You can see that from its stuff. It's got a B in profitability, A+ momentum. I mean, it's on a roll. Revisions, A, because they revise upward. Now, the valuation is a C. But anybody that knows Steve Kress, who's in charge of the quant in Seeking Alpha, knows that this is his favorite one, is PEG. It is trading 52% below the sector median. So is this a buy? In my mind, absolutely. Are you going to lose money? Potentially. Potentially. Say they come out and they dilute shareholders again. Say they come out and do something else. Then, yeah, you're going to lose money. Could go down. But I like this one. I have added to it. I've consistently held it. I like this one to go higher. I don't know how high. $1,500. That would be amazing. It's already got to 1,000, and it didn't hold that 1,000 for very long. But its high is right here, 1229. 1,500 is not crazy. Not crazy at all. So take a look at that one, SMCI. I'm pounding the table on that one. I pounded it before on during that one, and I've been right. I don't know that I'm right now. Nobody knows. But here, Tesla. Tesla edges higher as eyes turn to annual meeting, Elon Musk's trip to India. There are a couple of things that are going on with Tesla right now that should push this stuff. Well, the first is a shareholder vote to approve Musk pay. If you remember, a judge overrid shareholders and said, yeah, Elon Musk's pay is ridiculous. It was a Delaware judge. It was a judge that was a Biden friend. Yeah, that's why Elon Musk wants to move his company's headquarters. That's the second vote. The company's headquarters will move from Delaware to Texas. Both of those are up on the shareholders meeting. So they will vote on those. Now, Tesla's stock, let's take a look. It is up 0.65%. It is not showing incredible strength. This one is not showing incredible strength. A couple of things about the cars. They removed the inventory discount. They removed being able to transfer your full self-driving from one car to another. They lowered the price of full self-driving because they want to train the artificial intelligence on as many vehicles as they can. They have gotten incredible adoption of people basically downloading full self-driving free for 30 days. So they reduced it to $99 a month. So if you're somebody who got it in your car and you got it for free, it's only $100 for the next month if you want it. And you know what? Say you're going on a road trip and you want to use it. Boom, you download it for the road trip for $100 for that month. That's the benefit of Tesla's full self-driving is they want to make this affordable for everybody. The key to this stock is that software. If they come out, and I've said this before, this is the last time the margins, their earnings are coming out next week. I think it's Wednesday, April 22nd, whatever day that is. But I've said this before. The last time the margins were in question, this got down to 101. I think you get down to that point if we don't have something big that comes out on this earnings. Now, he's already made, he's pulled every rabbit out of his hat. He has said, they've sold the Cybertruck. They've done some readjustments. The only thing that he has in his hands is a refresh of the Model Y. Now, if he does a refresh of the Model Y, which is the number one selling vehicle in America, if he does a refresh, I think that would boost the stock, because I think enough people got those early Model Ys that would actually upgrade to a new Model Y. I did it with my Model 3 to a Model Y, to the 2024 Model Y, because the incentives were so good. Now, I don't know what the incentives are, because they haven't even put incentives on the new Model 3. It's not qualifying for the $7,500 federal tax rebate. That's why I got a Model Y instead of Model 3. So the cars are still the problem. It's the software that's going to boost this stock. The software, this is all about the robo-taxi, which he announced in August. So that's the thing. But I wanted to point out three times in the history of this stock, and you can see it right here, 2019. This was during hell, when they were going through delivery hell, still in 2019, and they had some issues there. 2019, you got oversold on the RSI down to 29. Right down here, the last time the margins were in question, 2023, you got to 27 on the RSI. Here, you got to 34 just on March 11th. You got to, 35. Right now, the RSI on the weekly is 35. If this one dips below 30, that could be a buying opportunity for a bounce. The problem is the valuation. The valuation is still an issue here. Tesla's valuation is an F. And the reason it's an F is because they value this as a car company, not, they value it as a technology company, not a car company. You can see it's in consumer discretionary. If they get the software right, it's a tech company, and these are actually B's and C's. And it's nothing like this. But you can see the PEG value, again, the PEG value, which is price to growth, earnings to growth, 4.09. The sector for the consumer discretionary is 1.44. This has never traded on valuation, though. So understand, it is a move that needs to happen in Tesla. So you can read this article, by the way, of everything that's going on Tesla. You can read that one. I did want to point out, you can't time the market, and this is not suggested, but I did want to point out something. TQQQ, right now, the algorithm has you out. Algorithm makes you 12% versus buying and holding TQQQ over 24 months makes you 20. But I would never suggest that, because if something were to happen in those 24 months, like say Iran invades Israel, say Russia invades Ukraine, say, the Donald Trump and Joe Biden are our two top candidates for president during those 24 months. Anything could happen, and you'd see a market crash. Well, you didn't see a market crash. All those things actually happened. So take it for a grain of salt. I just would never suggest a triple levered ETF to hold for 24 months. But if you did, you made 20%. Now, my algorithm provides you some protection. Your average win is 17.34%. It makes you 12%. So the algorithm still provides you a way to trade this during a time where you can still make some money. Again, it's a positive moving stock. I wanted to point out, while it's got some weakness here in the short term, the RSI, we just talked about it. It's at RSI under 20 or around 20 is oversold. That typically will mean a bounce. But you're providing a 200-day support level here on the 4-hour, which is a strong support level. If we go and just look at, most people look at the daily, you're nowhere near the 200-day. You've broken through the 50-day. Your RSI is at 39. It's not quite at the oversold level. Your MACD is just getting below the oscillator. And then you go to the weekly, and we're still showing extreme strength. But I will tell you, this weekly, what I've noticed, the 50-day crossed up on the 200-day. Now, if you had bought at any point in time when the 50-day was under the 200-day during this weekly, other than like the last 3-4 weeks, you're in positive territory. So in my mind, this 50-day moving positive with the short-term ranges that we just saw probably provides you an opportunity to take a look at this. The algorithm doesn't have you in. It probably won't get you in anytime soon. but it's something to keep an eye on. And most charts that you look at right now of upward moving stocks, because make no mistake about it, this TQQQ is still in a bull run. It's still, wherever you anchor this point, wherever other than this high of November 2021, wherever you anchor this is still moving up. So, you've had some resistance here from this little pop in March of 2022. You had clear resistance. We can point this out. We can put this right here. We can put that mark right there at 59. Look at how much resistance that provided to get to that next level. So it's just about technicals. There is nothing, but I want you to keep an eye on this. We're going to close this Tesla article. Now I can reveal this. Alpha Pick from Monday was GCT. Giga Cloud Technology, GCT. They have a fantastic write-up in Alpha Picks. If you want Alpha Picks, again, I would say go with Alpha Picks. But Steve Kress, who's in charge of the Alpha Picks team, he wrote a great article, and it might be Seeking Alpha Premium. I don't know, but he's got a great article in here about GCT. It includes SMCI, includes everything. So he goes over, this is analysis 101. This is what we did. This is why we think this is a good stock buy. This is analysis 101. And Steve has a great track record of analysis on this one. Now, GCT, if we look at this, it's a strong buy in the quant. It is now part of the Alpha Picks portfolio. You can see their annual report 10K was the last news article. It's not a huge stock. I bought a bunch of this. And I know a bunch of people who listen to me who also bought a bunch. This is probably the first time since I started promoting Alpha Picks back in February, January, sometime in that time. We've had about 5-6 picks. None of them have performed like this. Now, I did buy here on Monday. I bought during this big red candle, which was 2.2% gain. I think I lost 1 or 2% that day, maybe as much as 5%, because I think I may have bought, at the high there. I don't know what price I got, but yesterday this was up 8%. Today it's up 1.17. This is a good company to buy. Now, if you want to read the article, I'll include the article in the newsletter. The article will be included in the newsletter. It is as good as Alpha Pick. So again, Alpha Picks is $449. If you want to read that article, that pretty much mimics what the Alpha Picks article is, just get Seeking Alpha Premium for $189. You can get both of them. And I got $50 coupons off on both. They're right here on my link tree. So just go to the link tree and do that. But Giga Cloud is in my portfolio. It is a significant, I bought 4 lots of it. 4 lots. And each lot, 100 shares, 150, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I've been buying that one. And so, again, I like this one. It's number 1 out of 5 in distributors. There's only 5 of them. And this is the number 1, 4.99. And Steve, in the article, he pretty much pointed out, he goes, you can't pound the table enough about this one. So I like that one. I bought it. It is not in the core portfolio yet. It very well might be, but it is a small cap stock, so probably won't be. Eli Lilly. We talk about Eli Lilly all the time. This is the GLP-1. Remember, we are still in an AI and GLP-1 market. That is what's going to drive this market. What could kill this market as well, but GLP-1 is one. Now, Eli Lilly is a hold in the quant. It is not a buy. It is a hold in the quant. I would argue that this is one that you do want to buy, but it is a hold in the quant. This is what's interesting. Their obesity therapy succeeds in late-stage trials for sleep order. What they are doing is they are basically trying to find everything that they can do to prove that this is a widely distributed drug. So a doctor, you go into a doctor and you say, hey, I've got some weight gain. Oh, GLP-1. Hey, I've got some sleep stuff. Oh, GLP-1. Hey, I'm pre-diabetic. Oh, GLP-1. Hey, I've got some tingles in my stuff. Oh, it's diabetes. GLP-1. So what they're trying to do is basically make it so that the doctors can prescribe it on label for whatever it is they need. So this sleep disorder, who doesn't have sleep disorder? I mean, again, you could walk in and say, hey, I'm not sleeping. Well, GLP-1.
So that's what they're doing. That's why this drug could be so big. And Eli Lilly, I think in the algorithm here, look, it's just been, sideways. You're out of it right now. Do you want it at 745? I would say yes. Eli Lilly, again, if we go and look at the hold, I think it's the valuation that's nuts on it. It is, it's an F as far as valuation. That's the only thing that's bad about it. But you look at the peg and it's a B minus. So these are so bad that Steve is, the quant is saying, hey, don't get into it. I would argue it's still a good one. It's still a good one. It's setting up there. You can see the number one, but these are pharmaceutical stocks. I don't think that they're similar. Again, Eli Lilly is out there in the lead. Is it an $800 stock? Potentially. Potentially. Look at the weekly. It just looks super, super strong. This MACD cross down up there with the RSI on the weekly still at 63. Maybe you have more sideways movement, but it's not trending downwards. It's trending up. The only thing that's going to take this down is a viable competitor, and I don't see that coming in for the next few years. So, Royal Caribbean, another Alpa Pick stock. This is interesting. Let me look at this. Let me put this up here. Well, you know what? We're going to go over earnings before we go over Royal Caribbean. Earnings tomorrow, Taiwan Semi. I want you to take a look at this one because they already announced some of the manufacturing. It is putting up against the all-time high there. You can see 141. It hasn't been able to hold it. Algorithm has you out. If you want to get into this one, I don't think it's a bad one to get into. If we look at Taiwan Semi in the quant, it is still a strong buy. I think it is. Let me just check it just in case I'm kind of out there just lying. But, again, I'm a guy on the internet. Don't trust me. But Taiwan Semi at 139, it's still a strong buy. It's ranked number 1 out of 65. So Taiwan Semi, they're coming out with their earnings. I think it's pre-market. Let's see. It is April 17th pre-market. Did they come out? No. I guess it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow pre-market, April 18th pre-market. So it's tomorrow pre-market. I want you to do that one. I'm pounding the table that Netflix is going to kill it on earnings. Netflix, I think, will be a really, really good one on earnings. Now, I don't want you to buy it just because I said that. I want you to do your research, but here's the weekly. I think we hit that $700 mark, not on earnings. Mind you, not on earnings. This is a long-term play in my portfolio. I've been adding to this one. 622, if you look at the 4-hour, where the algorithm has you out, I think, yeah. Just got you out on April 15th with a slight loss. Algorithm makes you 54%. Buying and holding makes you 85%. The reason I'm buying and holding, I'm using the algorithm as entry points. I may have added it here at 633. I'm not worried. I use the algorithm as entry points, but I hold this for the long term. There are some concerns with the gap down here at 495. That's probably the least of concerns, but that volume shelf right here at 557, yeah, if they point anything kind of, hey, we've got some problems here or we've got some issues, that could be an issue. We talked about SMCI. I'm thinking they may pre-release, maybe, just like last time, but you have an entry at 976. Go and buy it. We talked about Tesla. Tesla's earnings are coming up next week on 423. The key point is that they're going to have to address margins. That's a huge one. Then you've got Meta. Oh, by the way, where do I find all this stuff that with earnings? I go over here and I go to home and I scroll down. This is Seeking Alpha. And I scroll down. And because I follow them, upcoming earnings on your stocks, because I have my watch list, because I have my portfolios in here, it adds all these stocks and it tells me when they're reporting. That's what I like. Again, it makes it nice and easy and simple. Meta is reporting on 424. This one, I think if you get it under 500, you're better off. It's at 504. Do you care? If you don't have a position, there is no difference between 504 and 500. The reality of this is if you have a $499 stock and I said buy it under 500, are you going to quibble over $5? I wouldn't. I wouldn't worry. I've missed out on my history is that I've missed out on so many stocks where they've taken off in that. And I also have missed out on some stocks where it's gone down significantly too. So it saved me, but I just don't quibble over it these days. Microsoft, they're reporting 425. Algorithm got you out here. It's showing some weakness. Again, if you don't have this stock in your portfolio, this is either number 2 or number 3 in my portfolio. It is a very, very good stock. They have AI. They are expanding cloud overseas. So that's a huge growth opportunity for them. And look at the weekly. I mean, the weekly is just so strong on this one. I wouldn't argue that, hey, we need a pullback on this. But I just think that their earnings are going to be super, super strong. Google is reporting on 429. Again, AI. I said buy this one under 150 as it started to get in there. You could have tried to time it. It's got some weakness here. Algorithm has you still in at 136, but I would argue the algorithm will probably get you out in the next couple of days unless we see an upturn. You're seeing some support here at 140. I would say if you get this under 150, you absolutely buy it. Do you have to buy it now? No. Do you have to own it in your portfolio at some point in time between now and April 30th? I would say yes. But if you own it in an ETF, just worry about it that way. So, and Apple is just it dipped under 170. So it's at 169. Their earnings are coming out May 2nd. No reason to rush into this one. I think that, we all know that their earnings are going to be weak. They're going to talk about AI. Hopefully they have something to talk about. But if they don't, this may go down to 150. I mean, again, you see that weakness on that one. But here, I pointed this out many times. On the weekly, the very few times over the past, 4 or 5 years that it's gone under the 50-day, here on the weekly chart, it's always been a buy. It's always been a buy. The valuation is a little bit crazy on this one, but it's always been a buy under that 50-day. And so, with a stock like Apple, you're not going to trade it for a 10% gain. The problem is the valuation. Profitability is an A+. They're making tons of money. The gap or the peg still too high. I mean, everything is just too high. It's ranked 9 out of 26. What's number 1? SMCI. What's number 2? DELL. That leads me to my next one. DELL is an Alpha Pick. Remains a strong buy. It's pulled back. It's pulled back from that 128, 129. It got to 136, it looks like. The 52-week range, it got to 136. That means this stock has 136 in it. The valuation, again, we look at the peg for forward growth, 1.48. It's trading 20% down from its sector. It's number 2. Number 1 is SMCI. Number 2 is DELL. I wanted to point out, too, another Alpha Pick buy just got a strong buy rating. It's Okta. And look at that peg, Okta. They've come back from their cybersecurity issues. It's a strong buy. It's number 2 out of 25 here on this one. What's number 1? Crescendo. I think that's how you say it. And then GoDaddy. This is their internet services and infrastructure, Okta. Another one that is I don't know if this is an Alpha Pick. I think it is. It might be an Alpha Pick. I need to look at that one. But here, Arista Networks. This one has had a nice pullback. It's still a strong buy. It's still a strong buy. I like this one still. So I wanted to point that out. And on that, then we go over here to Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean's assets mix, destinations drive buy from rating from Mizuho. Shares up 1.5. Let's see. Also has more cost conscious post-COVID. Mizuho targets versus they didn't. That doesn't say a price target. Oh, price target 164. Where's Royal Caribbean trading? This is an Alpha Pick. This is a recent Alpha Pick. And I think you're seeing the pullback here as an opportunity to buy. Now, on the 4 hour, you still aren't in. Their earnings are coming out April 24th, so next week. I want you to take a look at this one because if they produce good earnings, then that might be an opportunity. Look at the October earnings. They announced earnings and boom, it just took off. January earnings, you got that dip. But even if you bought at the January earnings here at 126, you traded all the way up to 140. This has 140 in it. If we go to Royal Caribbean and we look, it's a strong buy. Let's take a look at this one. It's a strong buy based on, we can go to Wall Street Analyst and we can look at this one. Here you go. 148 is the average price target, 14% up. Now, where have you traded to? You've traded all the way up to that 148, I believe. I believe that was the whole time. 141 is the 52-week high. 141 is the 52-week high. So you have 140 in it. If they post good earnings, boom, that one could take off. So Royal Caribbean is a buy there. DELL Technologies I was just going to look at. I wanted to point out two bonds. The 10-year got to 4.62 yesterday. It pulled back a little bit. Not enough, but it pulled back a little bit. Even with Jay Powell trying to crash that market yesterday, it pulled back. Okay, let's look at Tristan. Hey Gary, I'm loving the new SMCI price target of 1500. What's a sale target you'd be happy with as it hopefully continues to rise, or would you recommend buying to hold or overbuying to trade? Buy and hold it. I mean, until that valuation proves that it's wrong. I would rather have you buy it at 984 and see it go to 1500 than to not buy it, buy at 984 and then sell at 1200. The average price target at SMCI, we can look at it. Average price target at SMCI 902, but I don't know that includes the most recent one. So let's go over to Seeking Alpha because they didn't include the Loop Ventures one. Let's go and see where the Wall Street analysts say. Wall Street analysts 979. So you still have some downside. I do think the 1500 is like hope and pray. But the valuation's not crazy. If they continue to grow, I think you're fine. I personally, I have bought under 200. I haven't added to my my brokerage account. I bought it 200, 250, and then 300 for that 350 gap. And that was way back here. That was way back last year at some point in time, I think. Let's see. It was this gap. Okay, this was August of last year. I said this 296 to 350 gap was going to get filled. I had added to it. I had bought it back here at like 240, I think, when the first algorithm, when I first got it in June. I added to there, and I added to it here before earnings because I like the earnings. The earnings, I think I added at 300. It popped to 350 during that earnings, and then it just pulled back. And as it pulled back, I started to add, and I added at 258. Yes, I was down on this one. I didn't sell it. I added at 245. I was sure that this one would continue up. I sold some at 312, so this was a short-term gain. Not a lot. It was just a trim. And then I added more at this point, and I didn't sell or add any during this point. During this point, I added to the brokerage portfolio, and then I bought around 500 is where I bought in the in my retirement portfolio, and I essentially doubled that money. I doubled my lot size in my retirement account so that I could basically, I'm playing with house money now in my brokerage account, and until July. Or June, I am sitting there and I'm just holding it in my brokerage account because it's long term. I want it long term. So Tristan, it depends on A, your tax situation, B, where you want it. But I would never put a price target on this. I am not an analyst. I don't know enough to be an analyst. Those guys at Loop Ventures who just put the $1,500 on there, they are super bulls. I know that. So that's my thing. Then someone from Instagram, I forget his name, but I didn't include it. Would love to hear your thoughts on Palantir on the pod today. So my thoughts on Palantir, it's overvalued. And as long as you've got this downward pressure of this gap, it's not to say that they won't continue to go up from here. Because if we look at this weekly, it's the same kind of thing. You still see some strength on the weekly. Look at how high that MACD is. You don't have a 500-day, but that 50-day is still moving positive. But your RSI on the weekly is still 55. It's not below that 50 level. So I would still say we probably have room to go down. I do think it's a $30 stock. I think it's a $30 stock at some point in time. But if you go over here at Palantir and we look at the Palantir, I'd say SMCI, I'd say other ones are far better than this. Look, the average price target is 20. That's 10% down. This has had some crazy volatile stuff, and it's based on some of the retail stuff. But the peg is a B. So it's a hold in the quant. It is overvalued. Look at the PE. Look at everything from the sales. Everything is a D or an F, except for the gap. So if you wanted to buy it here, I don't think it's a bad thing that you buy it here. I just think there's some more downside. It hasn't gotten any positive stuff. But I do think that this is a $30 stock. Look, it traded up to $27.50. So I think there's opportunity in this one. I do like it. I think it's a good stock to buy and hold. I believe I still hold some shares in this, but I haven't bought any in a while. I haven't added to it. I haven't trimmed it. It's just one that you buy and you forget. So again, if you're into the data set, Snowflake, same kind of situation. And remember, I had Snowflake in the core portfolio. And this was last year, so some of you new listeners may not know this. But last year, I had Snowflake in the core portfolio. And I had it in my personal portfolio. And I said, Snowflake isn't, the valuation is crazy. It's just nuts. It's not worth it. Palantir is moving better. Let me move out Snowflake and move in Palantir. And that's what I did in the core portfolio. And if you take a look at it in Savvy Trader, and we go over here and we look at the core portfolio. I have two portfolio. I have the core portfolio and the trading portfolio. And the core portfolio has all these names. And again, you can look at the total gainers, SMCI. Palantir, when I added this one, where is Palantir? Let's see. I believe I added this one, so I should be up. Palantir, there it is. I'm up 23% since I added it. Now, Snowflake is not up 23% during that time. That's why I took it out. Palantir had better growth. Does Snowflake has better growth opportunity than Palantir now? I don't know. I mean, I think they're in two different sets at this point. We can look at Snowflake versus Palantir here.
Purpose? Do you want me to put it in? It was out.
Oh.
Fridge?
Yeah. Sorry. Ooh, yeah. I left some fish on the counter. Okay, so we'll look Snowflake and Palantir. Update chart. Look, I mean, over 1 year, Palantir is clearly the winner. And I don't know when I added this. Let me see when I added this. This will tell me when I added this. If I go Palantir, this was, where's the date? There it is. October 10th. October 10th. So you take a look at this and you go back to October and you look, it's extended its stuff. We can look at 6 months. That's about October. Look, Palantir's up 23%. Snowflake's down 4%. So it's a good move. That's the only reason why I have it. I think it's a good one. So again, Palantir, you can hold it. You can buy it. I still think it's a good stock. I just, it's one of those that's run up and maybe it just needs a little break. Scans, we talked about SMCI. This one has a buy. Again, I'm pounding the table on this one. It's up over $1,000 now that the market's open. It's at $1,010. I feel like an auctioneer. But $976 was the buy. If you haven't gotten into this, I don't think it's bad to get into this. GCT, Giga Cloud Technology. This one, the most recent alpha pick. We have a buy in the algorithm. It's another move higher. Look, the MACD crossed up. Okay, my algorithm is based on MACD. You had the initial buy at 29. Don't you wish you would have bought at 29? I wish I would have. I think I bought at 32 something. And it's gone up to 36. It's 36. This is up 2%. GCT. CAH, another alpha pick, another recent alpha pick. I don't know when they got into this one. This one is in the healthcare space. What's ironic, it's using that 200-day as support. So that 107 is support for CAH. I like this one. Adobe. I included this one because I don't know that we found a bottom, but this one has pulled back so much and has that upward gap from the earnings all the way up to 569. Now, are we low enough? I don't know. I mean, you can see we've kind of leveled out on the MACD, but we're still trailing down. We've leveled out on the RSI, but we're still trailing down. I would wait till you get to 490 on this one and maybe pull the trigger then, because you do have a couple of gaps here, small ones, up until 478 until 483. You do have some of those gaps. Wait until you have confirmation that 9 days just moving sideways. I don't have enough information to say buy this one. Schwab. This is just a quality company. Again, we went over this one, that they were just dinged last year. Way too much last year. And in October, when it was $51, don't you wish you would have bought? $73. If we look at a weekly on Schwab, look, I've said it's getting back to 86. This is a very, very well-run company. This is a fantastically well-run company. Their bank is not an issue. They had their earnings. They were out. They're done. I think they continue their climb higher. Algorithm makes you 52% over 2 years. 52%. You know what you make if you bought and held it 2 years ago? You're down 3%. So when the algorithm tells you to get in during this run at $73, I think you get in. I will be adding to this one. So there's the podcast. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Remember, if you're not signed up for Trendspider, Trendspider is my best charting program out there. They're having a special. It is, Trendspider's platform, $74 for 12 months. That's $892. If you don't have enough, a large enough account that you're trading with and you can't make up $892 in a year, or save on a downside, if the algorithm gets you out and you saved $892, boom, that's a savings right there. Monthly, you can try it out, $149. They take 25% off for the month. So I like that one. If you like Seeking Alpha Premium, it's 20% off. That's the second link in the link tree down below. It's 20% off. Use my link and you save $50. And again, like I said, that is my most fantastic find. I started selling this. I started using Seeking Alpha years ago. I became an affiliate in October. I think it was October. It might have been August. But I became an affiliate because I'm such a fan. Again, all of these tools I paid for before I've started using them. Alpha Picks. This one beats what more do you want? Again, if you're not trading to save $449, if 130%, if you're not trading $500, $600, then don't do Alpha Picks. But Alpha Picks is a great, solid platform. It's a good one. So those are my tools that I use. And again, if you need a brokerage, Webull, I should say a trading platform. I like Webull to trade with. I still have 100% of my portfolio is still in cash in Webull. But click on this and you get up to 75 free stocks. It's a great trading platform. I have not done my portfolio in that. I'm kind of waiting because, again, on the Qs, we don't know where we're going. We're up 0.33. This isn't, oh my God, we're up today. There are some stocks that are up. You have to have your core portfolio together. Some stocks are up, others are down. But today's a good day. But again, the Qs are only up 0.33. I mean, I can see Bank of America coming back up at 1.2%. You got Cleveland Cliffs up 2% on that the news of the tariffs. Then you've got Goldman Sachs back over 400. Did you get it? Under 400? Eli Lilly up 2% with that news. Again, GLP-1 market. PanW up 1%. CrowdStrike, I think, is under $300. I read in one of the comments. CRWD. Hold on one second. Hey, stop it. She can get under that, Ben. CrowdStrike, 301. 301. It dipped under 300. I mean, again, this is the trading range that I pointed out. You want to buy this one when it gets to that bottom of the trading range. It doesn't have confirmation yet, but boy, it's oversold. It's coming off a 31, 32. Every time that this one has hit that, it's kind of gone up for a short term, but this, in my mind, this is a long-term buy. So you've got that opportunity. Shopify back over 70. It dipped under. Shopify is going to come back. We don't have a buy in the algorithm. We don't have confirmation, but you get a gap up here at 73. I've said this before. This is an $80 stock. This will cover this gap again. Their earnings are coming up. So you've got opportunities in this market. UNH is up 3%. I wouldn't say buy this one. I still don't like this stock. I don't trust it, but under 500, this will get back to 500. It will. Walmart is back over 60. Under 60 is where you want Walmart. Uber at 74. Uber at 74. Look at that range that it's putting in right there. That range right there is where you want to buy this one. Anywhere between that 70, 72 mark and 80, I think you're going to trade in there until their earnings that come up on May 7th, and I think you'll be fine. So there's places in the market that you want to look. That's my point. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.